Remnant 2 is honestly one of my favorite action RPGs. Let me tell you, it is not like any other Souls-like game. And yeah, maybe it will be referred to Dark Souls but with guns, but it is so much more than that. How's it everyone? My name is Zanya, also known as Sadistic Muffin, and I wanted to create this little video to share some tips, some tricks for anyone trying out Remnant for the first time. I know it can be a little bit scary, and maybe we can have a little chat if there are any veterans watching this who might have picked up a trick or so. I hope that sharing these tips and tricks will hopefully make your Remnant experience a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more fun, understanding, and for you to do a pretty decent damage. I do have a lot of passion, a lot of love for the game and the game developers. I've spent so many hours with my duo partner Lex. We fought through the different worlds, we vibed, we played all the Remnant titles, and I'm even in Remnant 2 as an accessory. You can add me to your build, create something awesome, and please, if you do that, let me know. I would really love to check it out and chat about it as well. I will put a link in the description below on the day that we found out that we are part of Remnant 2. It was a pretty phenomenal moment and something I hold close, very dear to my heart. But we are here about the Remnant 2 tips and tricks. Let's get into it. The one thing you do need to know about this game, and it's probably the most important fact of them all, is that it's a 12 out of 10 game, because you can pet your dog and you can pet your friend's dog in this game. There's a whole class dedicated to him, so most important fact of them all. So let's chat about Remnant. You do not need to have played any of the previous game titles to know what is going on in Remnant 2. It is very straightforward, but if you are a huge lore fan such as myself and you want to know the backstory, why we are in these different worlds, this world stone, and the creatures we are fighting, I can highly suggest you checking out Kronos Before the Ashes, which is their very first title into the series, following into Remnant from the Ashes and then into Remnant 2. The story does flow throughout the different games all the way to the latest title, but like I said, it's not a necessity for you to have played them before. One of the things that make this game a lot of fun is that you can either play this game solo with your doggo, or you can play it with your party members, up to 3 members in total. It is honestly the best co-op game that I have experienced other than Lords of the Fallen, because you don't need any in-game currency to summon your friend or to join the game. The joining process is actually quite easy. There is a difficulty setting that you can choose from, making it more playable towards your playstyle. If this is your first Souls-like game, I can highly suggest giving Survivor a go. Veteran is more of a solid start if you have either played the previous titles or if you have played any previous Souls-like game. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can definitely try out between Nightmare and Apocalypse. Definitely one of my favorite modes to like fuck around and find out. And they also have a hardcore mode. The game does reward you for completing the story on certain difficulty settings, which is actually pretty cool. When you are starting the game, you do start the game by choosing your archetype or your class. This is very important as each class do have their own set of skills, traits, weapons, armor, and so forth. And this is all dependent on your playstyle, because if you are solo, I can suggest maybe choosing the handler, as the doggo can revive you when you are get knocked down to get up again. I'm so sorry. As long as you have the resources, the doggo will come get you up, making it a little bit more forgiving rather than just dying and trying again. Regarding the archetype, like I said, there's different classes that you can choose from. If you want to be a tank, you can be a tank. If you want to be a healer, you can be a healer. There are some sniper roles, some different ones. I don't really want to spoil it, but there are some great classes you can choose from. You can also dual spec or dual archetype, which means you can have 2 classes active at the same time, giving you more options to play around with. Remember, each class has their own skills, traits, weapons. When you do activate that second archetype, you will then obtain their skills, their traits. There are a few ways for you to obtain the different archetypes. Some of them are available in War 13 for you to buy from the get-go, and some of them are located in the different worlds that you can go out and find. Maybe it's a little bit of a secret, maybe it's behind something. I think it's one of the best things of Remnant is the amount of secrets in this game, and one of them is you have to go find an archetype in a secret area. Really cool. I do have a video on how to find some of these archetypes. If you want to go check it out, please feel free to do so. But like I said, some are available in War 13 and some are available in the world for you to find. One thing to note about leveling these archetypes is that if you are leveling 2 archetypes at the same time, this might take you quite some time as the experience is shared. There are some things that you can do to help you with the experience gaining. For example, in Yisha, there's a random world drop where a ring is being dropped called the Sage Ring, will boost your experience, and you can pick up Matu's experience elixir, which is also available for you to obtain. Let's chat about campaign mode versus adventure mode. One of the major things that set Remnant apart from all the other action RPGs is that the maps, the worlds, the dungeons, the bosses, they're all procedurally generated. This means that you can have multiple playthroughs and they can all be different. I mean, we can start at the same time, but our worlds will be different. Or even if we happen to land on the same world, our starting areas can be different. Our questline, bosses, dungeons, even the items that we pick up can be different. You do have the option to play in campaign mode, which includes all the worlds and the storyline. And then you also have something called adventure mode, which contains a section of a world or an entire world by itself. To unlock a world in adventure mode, you need to have played that specific world in your campaign. So for example, if you want Yisha in adventure mode, you need to have completed the entire Yisha in your campaign to unlock that ability for you. Adventure mode has nothing to do with your story or your campaign line. You can play on campaign, switch over to adventure mode without missing any of your current progress in your campaign, which kind of makes it awesome. You will use adventure mode to either farm, find some items, or do part of a story that was actually not included in your campaign. You can re-roll your adventure mode if you feel like you're stuck on campaign and maybe just want to farm somewhere else, or like I said, do a quest that that you did not have available in your campaign. You see, Remnant is full of secrets. The different worlds, the stories, the items, they all connect with one another. Make sure you take your curiosity and you explore. I'm not just meaning like actually explore the maps, but I'm talking about look at the walls, look at the items that you pick up, because 9 out of 10 times something that you pick up might be something that you need to inspect and check out what it is. If something looks sus, it probably is, and you should go check it out. There will be times that you'll be so pleasantly surprised with what you've missed or what you actually pick out just by exploring every nook and cranny. One of the things that you do need to know and understand is that not everything that you pick up in adventure mode will actually travel through over to your campaign mode. Armor, weapons, anything along those lines, crafting material, currency, those things you will keep with you forever on your main character, but quest items specifically will not travel from adventure mode over to campaign mode. The second you re-roll your adventure mode, whatever quest item you had in that specific time, you will then lose. However, in campaign, there will be various quest items that will move over in between the different worlds, because some quest lines actually require you to travel from one world to another if you want a certain reward. And yes, they actually do reward you for doing that. Some of them are quite obvious, some of them are a little bit more tricky to find out. If you'd like to know more about that, please let me know in the comments below. I love talking about these secrets. You can even come to my chat in Twitch, like I said. Please feel free to come and join us. It's always a vibe talking about Remnant and all the secrets that it has to offer. If you are looking for a specific item, you can re-roll adventure mode until you find the area where the item will be located. For example, if you want the Sage Ring and you know it's in Yisha, roll Yisha in adventure mode, go and find it. Use the time in adventure mode to actually farm, gain experience, and get extra crafting materials. Let's chat about when you first start out. When you're starting your character, you are quite limited with your resources. It's going to be so important that you do not buy and upgrade all willy-nilly. Just be mindful of your resources just until you are fully on your feet. You will notice that your crafting material will change the more you upgrade your weapon, making it very important that you explore every area. Make sure you grab the chests, pick up materials, and all the scrap that you possibly can. Do the quests as well, as they do give you some rewards, whether it's an item, whether it's scrap, whether it's a trade, etc, etc. Scrap is your currency in the game. You pretty much need that for pretty much almost everything in the game. I can suggest in Yisha there's a necklace that dropped called the scavenger bauble. I personally love this item, especially if I'm like on a farming spree and I really just want to farm and gain as many materials and scrap as possible. I'll equip that up until I get to the boss fight, equip my normal amulet that I need, and then re-equip the scavenger bauble just for the farming purposes, just to help you a little bit with your economy. In War 13, this is basically your base. You are safe here. There are a couple of important people that you need to know. McCabe, very important person to know. They will craft any weapon mods. If you pick up crafting material for boss weapons, they will craft the boss weapons for you. Then knock off Bruce Willis from Wish. I love this guy. He actually upgrades your weapons. You can also downgrade a weapon if you feel like you wasted upgrading this particular weapon that you actually don't like. You can just go ahead and downgrade that. Reggie, he will sell you extra items, ammo boxes, and a few throwables. Mudtooth, a very sweet old man. He will tell you all the stories in the world. Highly recommend you spam his dialogue until he gives you something. Okay? Spam his dialogue until he gives you something. He will sell you consumables, a very important man to know. I love using a lot of these consumables, whether it's for experience, whether it's for my armor, whether it's for health. There are a few things that will be catered to your needs. Then we also have Cass. She will also sell you different items depending on your progression of the game. I would suggest that after every couple of runs, every time you come back from a run and you are in War 13, just go have a chat with Reggie, go have a chat with Cass. They might actually end up selling you a different item that you did not have before because you completed something. We also have Wallace. He chills in the tower, just enjoying the view, all barefoot and alles, assisting you in crafting the different archetypes. If you have the crafting material for the archetype, he will craft it for you. We also have Brabus, very important guy. Like I said, quite a lot of important people for you to know. If you're not happy with your starting weapon and you're just looking for something else, I can highly suggest give Brabus a go. He has a few cool starter weapons that you can use up until you find boss weapons. Boss weapons are generally a lot stronger. It includes an included weapon mod already for you just to attach a mutator. We'll chat about that in just a second. I know a lot of people do not like their starting weapons, especially if you start with something like the handler. If you start something that has just a mere shotgun or a pure sniper, then you can either go ahead and go kill a boss, get that crafting material and get a better weapon, or you can use Brabus to actually just get a different weapon. It is kind of cool to know that each world boss can be killed in 2 different ways, except for one world boss, but this results in 2 different weapons to be crafted. For example, one of my personal favorite weapons is killing a boss in a certain way, and it gives you this weapon, and I think it's kind of really cool. There are also weapons scattered in and around the different worlds. They are hidden behind secrets just for you to go find out and figure out as well. Very interesting. Remnant is all about that build crafting. The customization is pretty solid. I mean, you have your long gun, you have a melee weapon, and you also have a handgun. All to which you can most of the time add a mutator and a weapon mod. A mutator is basically just something that you add to your weapon to either boost your weapon stats, boost your character stats, maybe boost some damage, maybe survivability, maybe it has something to do with ammo. There are literally so many different things that you can choose from, but essentially a mutator is to just boost whatever weapon you have or boost some stats that you have at the end of the day, making it a little bit more of a powerful weapon. Oftentimes you can really add a really cool mutator that complements your weapon, and then you can add your amulets and rings and your archetype and really build something that will fit to your playstyle. Regarding your weapon mod, again, this is just an additional do damage or add survivability or add tankiness or add something amazing to your weapon or to your character. You can either buy these weapon mods, you can either buy the mutators as well, or you can go and find them out in the different worlds. You also have your healing mechanism, which you can also customize with relic fragments you pick up with chests and killing aberrations. Now, aberrations are these mini bosses that will spawn throughout your playthrough, and the higher the difficulty, the higher the chances of aberrations spawning. Very cool in killing them because different aberrations in different worlds would drop different crafting materials, weapon mods, maybe mutators or something along those lines. They can also drop corrupted shards that you actually use to craft weapons. You can upgrade your relic fragments with a pan in the base. What an interesting sentence. But if you're on high difficulty and your power level is higher, then you can just roll into a higher difficulty, come to the pan, and then upgrade your relic fragments. It's an easier way than you just wasting your relic dust. You also have your archetype, which has their own benefits. You have accessories, you have your armor, to all have their own stats and their own unique abilities. So you truly can go really deep into that build crafting and truly create something that fits your your liking and your playstyle. I mean, there's a lot of customization. Look at the amount of rings. Look at the amount of amulets. There was like so much to choose from. Even the amount of relics and relic fragments and mutant. Oh my god, it's getting out of control. But this just shows you that there is truly something for every single person out there. You do have traits that will help you throughout your adventure. You can also respec at any time as long as you have this consumable, the Orb of Undoing, in your pocket. Now you have your gold traits, and then you also have your normal white traits. The white traits are traits that you either obtain through the world through doing a quest, or you pick it up, or you did something. And you have your normal golden traits, which is fixed to your character, fixed to your archetype. So just important that you understand that if you happen to swap in between different archetypes, you will actually notice that your traits are changing as well. You might not have that specific trait that you wanted because you changed into a different archetype. Character information regarding your stats can be found over here, and you can play around, create different builds, save them under your loadout, and you can also, while you are looking at items, favorite your items just so they are listed all the way at the top of the list, making it a little bit more manageable when you get to a point of just being lost constantly in your own damn inventory like the goddamn loot goblin that I am. Your gear level is determined by a couple of things. It's regarding gear, it's regarding archetypes, it's regarding how much you've upgraded certain things. There is a Reddit post someone also have created just explaining. I will put it over here, but you can see that there are some things that do impact scaling of the world, and there are some things that don't impact scaling, because when you enter a world you will see what the world level is compared to yours. Now you can usually get away with like 1 or 2 levels being under leveled, but if this is your very first Souls-like game, maybe try and stay as close to the world level as possible. And if you are finding yourself, not doing a lot of damage and really struggling to survive, pick a world in adventure mode, try and find that scavenger bauble in Isha and just farm. Break all the pots, kill all the enemies, do the dungeons, upgrade your weapons, use consumables, and try again. If you are still struggling, then
in the immortal words of the ancient roly-poly Elder Lords, get gears, good.
there's nothing wrong with dying as long as you're still having fun and you're still learning as well. Make sure you are searching for chests, as they can obtain some valuable resources, including relic dust. You can also use this to upgrade your relics, your mutators, and it also will contain other crafting materials. The best kind of chests are usually found after a boss fight, in hidden areas, behind secret invisible walls. So make sure, like I said earlier, explore every nook and cranny. Go and check it out. You never know what you're going to find. If you happen to find the same item and you pick it up, or do the same quest and it rewards you for the same thing, that item or that quest will convert into scrap, giving you extra cash. You can also sell some unused materials off to Cass. Just be careful what you sell to her. Then there are some random facts that I've learned over my fair share of reminiscing. Photo mode. Well, this is kind of like a mini photo mode. You can press shift minus on your keyboard and this will hide your UI, and you are able to take some nice pictures. You can also shift click on your trace just to make it easier. You can ping an emote. For PC people it is the middle mouse button, and for console peeps I do believe that it's down on your directional pad. There is a setting in your settings called auto dismiss feature. Highly recommend this. Don't want this message just blocking all over your screen, suddenly in a boss fight or suddenly in an aberration, all of a sudden this massive message is just like on your screen and you don't press dismiss. There is friendly fire as well, in case you haven't tasted it for some reason. And like I mentioned briefly earlier, make sure you inspect the items that you pick up. Even the very, very, very first item that you get in the game, make sure you inspect it. Let me know if you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. At the end of the day, the most important thing is for you to simply enjoy Remnant for what it is. Yes, it can be tough, I know, but it can also be extremely rewarding. It is not as tough as your other Souls like Dark Souls, Elden Ring and so forth, but it is very, very rewarding. You can play your style with the character that you created, with the whole archetype and a whole class set that you have really customized at the end of the day, and you can really make a fucking machine. Well, there you go, go, everyone, I hope that you have learned at least one thing from this video. Please let me know in the comments below, and also please come and join me over on my Twitch channel. I pretty much stream Remnant every single day, and we have a lot of fun over there. All the links will be in the description below, including the Remnant Discord. They have all the updates regarding DLCs, regarding crossplay, regarding what the hell is going on. If you have made it this far in the video, I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much for listening to me waffling on about Remnant. I have so much love for this game. Honestly, you can just come to my stream and ask me about Remnant, and I will talk your ears off. So thank you so much, everyone. Please remember to like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you want to know when the next video is going to come out, and I will see you real soon. Stay majestic, everyone.